It was an escapism from a very young age. So I'm a lyricist. I was very good at English language. I was very into arty stuff. And when I would listen to music, it would take me away from all the stuff that I was struggling with, everything. Like, my dad was an amazing person.
Yeah.
He's probably the best person I've ever had in my life. There was like you've got to get your shit together now. You know, you need to find your lane. And it was heartbreaking, like beyond measure. Like, even now, like, I get like all tears up thinking about it. It's like you lose the biggest hero in your life, and you're like...
You attempted to take your own life on the 4th of March 2023.
I did.
Why?
Yes.
Why, Craig?
It goes back to what we said before. Just won the hospitality award. I had this really good life, but I didn't feel anything. I just didn't want to be here.
Craig, a massive warm welcome to Shake the Mic. Thank you so much for coming on.
Anytime.
Thanks for taking the time out your schedule to come in and spend it with us. I'm so happy to have you on because I feel it's a breath of fresh air for the podcast. I've had so many sports personnel, boxers, athletes, all of that. And I think this is just going to add good value to it because it's diverse and I'm really excited. So thank you for that. Thanks for bringing that edge.
Honestly, when you asked me, I seen the people you dad on before. I was like, what's going on here? Before we start though, my mum always told me never turn up anywhere without a gift. So I always bring a little gift.
Man.
It's L1 cents.
So much.
I'm part of their brand, so...
Thank you very much.
Aftershave.
Oh, my man. I appreciate that, you know.
No worries.
I give you a hug, but I don't want to stand up, thank you.
Honestly,
really
I was
that was a nice touch, man.
I was honoured to be asked because I seen like it was all sports people and I was like, I'm just a gay lad from County Road. Do you know what I mean?
I like gay lads from County Road. Not in that way, but I do like that.
Sorry, I'll let you know.
No, do you know what? Yeah, Craig, it's like I can't just keep doing the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's only so many of that type of person you can interview, and I can take so many different angles, and everyone's got their own story. But I think it's time we just put a bit of spice in there and bump it up a little bit, and you're the man to do that, most definitely.
Let's do it.
You're very multi-talented. You seem to have a lot of skill sets. When I see you, Craig, now, I see someone who's like fun, confident, a bubbly person, someone who's outgoing, you know, and you're openly gay and you seem very happy with yourself and that one. But has it always been that way?
No. So for a very long time, I didn't really want to. I knew I was gay, but I didn't really want to be gay. Most of my mates are straight lads, and I've just got a different way about me, if you will. So it wasn't until my 30s when I kind of accepted everything, and it was like. And I was like, oh, this is just who I am, and I'm sound with it. Like, and I've said it before. Like, obviously, I've been through a few. You go through a certain amount of people, don't you? And so it wasn't the fact that I was questioning whether I was gay. It was just that I didn't want to be, and I didn't feel comfy in my skin. I didn't have really anyone who was in my family who I could relate to and you know, sort of get advice from. So it was sort of kind of. Like sort of went through it and just
alone.
Yeah.
Was it a lonely experience?
It was. It was very daunting when you notice something about you that you can't change, and it brings a certain strife to the way you live. It's daunting. I also have to, like people say, you're very confident and blah blah blah, and I'm probably more confident now because of the fittest I've ever looked in my life, and you know, and I'm content with everything. But
you're in fantastic shape, by the way.
Thank you very much. But back then it was all faked. You know, I had to fake confidence. You know, I had to peel myself out the bed, and you know, there was like certain situations where I just didn't feel like I fitted in them, and certain groups, and even sometimes, you know, my own family, I just didn't feel like there. So I had to put a big front on and pretend I was happy, and you know, that just wasn't the case.
It must be unimaginably hard, like, because obviously if we've got a problem in life or something, it's not a problem, and it's not a problem for you anymore, but at the time it was. When we've got a problem that goes away after a week, 2, maybe 3, and you see that deemed to be a big issue in your life, where you're like, will you just fucking leave me alone? But for yourself, that's something that's there every day, and you're waking up to that every day. So that must be unimaginably difficult, because that's something you've got to deal with, and you've got to confront it, because if you keep pushing it away, it's just going to keep building and building. Can you pinpoint any specific moments in your life, Craig, where you knew you were gay, when you realised you were gay, was there a time where you thought to yourself, like, where you'd questioned it, but then you knew, like, you know what, I'm different here, and I am gay?
It was probably, I'd say, about 7 or 8 maybe.
Was it?
It was that young, you know, and there was a time when I would go with girls and just to try and prove to other people and myself, and obviously some people knew, even though it never came up until I was like 16, 17. But I knew
girls love gay lads, don't they, as well, eh?
Do you know what? You know
what's that, Craig? Tell me what's all that about that?
It's my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and the girls. No, you know what it is? It's I get it. I get more attention off girls than I do lads, and sometimes, and it's kind of annoying. I'm like, come on.
My missus said to me when I told her that you were coming on, she was like, "Oh, Jack, she's busy today. She's like, I'd love to meet him. I've always wanted a gay best mate." And I said, like, "Come on, why do all girls love gay lads?" And she was like, "I don't know, you know, so I don't want to ask him that."
But yeah, no, it's a madness, to be honest. But it's like, I don't know. You've just got to run with whatever life deals, you know, haven't you?
You are who you are. You know, you're 39 now, and I know that that's something you've mentioned to me before, and this is the last year in your 30s. How does that make you feel? Does it drive you?
I mean, I'm excited. So in my 20s, I would say my 20s weren't the happiest. And then my 30s, even though I lost my dad in my 30s, my 30s I've had so much, like, this is how I imagined I would feel in my 20s, in my 30s. Like, I've had the best years. Like, I've done so much in the past couple of years. Probably the last 5 years have been my best in my life.
I'd say similar for myself.
Yeah, so I'm excited to do the last year in my 30s, and then the 40s is just going to...
It's another decade, it's different, isn't it? You know, it's another era for you.
I'm a cougar now. I'm officially a cougar.
You look well. You lost your dad in 2016, am I right?
Yes.
How did that impact your life, Craig?
Weirdly, it was a bit of both, good and bad. I mean by that, sorry. So I feel like when he passed away, I think I was 31. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mum. Well, when you're watching, and that was, it kind of gave me a push, to do all the things that he expected of me, and he knew that I could do. And up until then, it was like touch and go. I was a bit of a mess here and there. And
was the pressure there? Was your dad?
I've hit some rock bottom. No, my dad was an amazing person.
Yeah,
he's probably the best person I've ever had in my life. But when he went, it was like I was the firstborn, so it was like I'm the eldest child, and there was like a you know, you've got to get your shit together now. You know, you can't keep making the same mistake over and over again, and you know, you need to find your lane. And it was heartbreaking, like beyond measure. Like, even now, like I go tears up thinking about it. It's like you lose the biggest hero in your life, and you're like, oh, and then it hits you like, I've only got one parent left, and all these you have all these mad emotions. But it was probably a year after he went, that it really did get me shit together.
You feel you stepped up?
Yeah, and I was working in Ink at the time, and they were so good to me. Like, when I lost my dad, they were so supportive, and they couldn't do enough for me. And it was then, probably about 32, and when I'd started getting my shit together, I'd made a bit of a name for myself in hospitality, and you know, Ink was smashing it, and I used to see like between 700 and 1,000 new people every week, and it gave me this new confidence in life. And I think if he wouldn't have passed away, I probably wouldn't have pushed myself, yeah. Because I was like, he's not here now. You've got to, you know, you've got to stand on your own 2 feet.
Do you think it's one of the last steps to adulthood, like losing your parents? And you stepped up. It can send people 2 ways. They either they don't amount to nothing, or they go crazy, or it can affect them. Someone really successfully loses a parent, it impacts them in a negative way. But it seems to have impacted you as harrowing as it is, and as much sorrow you'll have around that, you have seemed to elevate.
Well, me and my mum was so close, and I was like, if I go down and I go off the rails and go on a bender, or go on many benders, and mess up this good career I'd just started, if I do that, I'm not there for her. Like, that's just not that's a shitty son, and I think she deserves more than that. I know I had my little sister, we had my niece at the time, Alia, and then she was pregnant with Mia at the time, and then my little brother, he was only 9. So there was all these factors, and I was like, you can either sink now,
or this time to step up,
or you can swim. Even though I hate swimming, and yeah, I swam, and yeah, still swimming. Sometimes go under, but then you just come straight back up.
We all do, and I think anyone would be a liar to say that they don't, no matter how good your life is, no matter how productive it is, no matter how successful you are or what your image of success is. I feel like we all have down days, we all have off days, and sometimes they last longer than a day. Sometimes it can be half a day, sometimes it can be half a month, and we have to get ourselves together again, and it happens to the best of us.
No, but you're right though, because like, so my thing is people go, oh my God, you've got like a good following, you've got this, you've got that, you know, you've won this, you've won that, you look great, like you must be on top of it, you really, and I'm like, you really got your shit together, and I'm like, you know,
I haven't.
Sometimes I don't know if I'm coming one day or the next, and it just because it looks like that, it doesn't feel like that sometimes. You still go through the same stress.
It's
it's like,
I feel like we look out, Craig, but we discover inwards. We've got to discover ourselves and who we really are. And I think like it's all a facade. We just see people passing by and we think, you know, and if I looked at my life from the outside and said like, you know, I've got a lovely family, I'm blessed, I've got a good business, I could sit there and say, you know, it seems like what some people are deemed to have the perfect life, and I really enjoy my life and I am blessed, but I do have times where I am down and I can't even put my finger on why do I feel like this or whatever. I could be exercising, I could be eating okay, I could be, you know what I mean, but I'm just something still missing, and I think we all have times where we go through that. And I think social media's got a lot to answer for in comparison in this day and age, because we're all comparing ourselves. And 9 times out of 10 to a false narrative, you know, it's always, you know, oh, he looks boss, Craig. Yeah, he's larger than life, but they don't see you when you go home, and they don't see you when you get up in the morning, and we're all real people, you know. And I think what really amazes me with you is how open you are. You're very transparent, you're very real, and you can feel that from you, and I love that about you, lad. Never change that.
I don't think I could. It's too late in the game to change it now. I just, for years, like, he's got too much to say, big mouth, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all. And like now it's sort of role reverse. Now it's like you're commended for it. And I'm like, it's a good job it didn't change, innit?
Yeah,
you know?
Because it takes balls to do what you've done and, you know, maybe break the mold a little bit and step outside a little bit. And so many people are scared to do it. And I admire you for that, because it's a brave thing to do, especially where we live, especially in this city. It's hard to do it anywhere in the world, but come to Liverpool and behaving that way and be gay and be open and be loud and that, and it's our place to be, which we'll touch on that in a minute. But I can only commend you for that and for being that way, and it served you. It's paid you back. Am I right in saying that you were born in 1985?
I was 85. They gave the due date to my mum, and I came on the due date. The first baby in ages to do it. So I was ready to come. I was ready to be here and make and shake the mic.
Yes, baby. You're so growing up in Liverpool, you would have been growing up in the 90s, Craig, yeah?
Yes.
Being a gay lad in the 90s and the 2000s in Liverpool, growing up, that's hard. It's a hard place to be.
It was rough. It was so, as I said earlier, it's I tried to hide it, and then, you know, obviously some people could tell, some people knew. I told 1 or 2 people, but I lived like this double life. But I was extremely lucky. Like, there's people who've told me stories like years later where they've had such a bad time, like really bad. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's still people who are in you know, who are alive now, and they were put through like just 5 years before the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, and they've got some really horrible stories to tell. Whereas, so I look at that and I go, well,
there's a community now, isn't it? The world's more of a diverse place. So, like, it's more accepted now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, she's gay, he's gay, you know, he's doing this, he's doing that. The world's become a different place. But back then, people were a lot more narrow-minded, and people weren't as less open to difference or change. And that must have been difficult, because you've lived through that process, and I feel like that's why you are like an ambassador or a pioneer for that. You are that, you're a leader in that sense because you've experienced that side of it, and now you're living in the world of today.
Well, I think the reason that, and it's nice that you've said that, but I think the only reason that I've like stood the test of time in a way, if you will, I feel like that's really big to say. But,
no, but yeah.
So it's because like someone asked me the other day, do you go on the marches and do you do this and do that? And I don't. And it's not because I'm snobby about pride or anything like that, but I'm proud of my version of gay. Like I don't have to wear a rainbow flag and go down and march down the street. You know, I know who I am. It is what it is. And, you know, I push diversity in my way. Like, when I ran Alma, I'd done an LGBTQ theme night called Seven Sins, and we had a transgender, and we had a drag queen, and we had 3 other dancers, females, and no one had done anything like that since Garland's, and it absolutely smashed it. And I was they done a little thing in the Echo for me about it. So I do my version of it, and I think maybe that's why people respect it, because I'm out of me being gay, but I'm common. I'm really common. I'm a proper Scouser. I don't put.
Yeah, you know.
I don't take the off my chicken, and you know, I'm from County. I'm L4. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Did you grow up on County Road?
Yeah, we moved when I was about 11 or 12. We moved up to Mellon.
Yeah,
and I hated it because it was too quiet for me. I like
you like
being in the centre, right in the middle of the action. So yeah, I think that's the only reason why I've sort of. People respect any type of thing in that way is because I've done it my way.
You can see that you know, like I think people stereotype people or put them in boxes or types too much. It's like he's gay, so they think, oh, you're gonna be dead lad, all that, and it's not always necessarily like that, you know. And then vice versa, you can get someone who's straight, but you'd look at them and think, no, you know what I mean. So it's very, very hard to say. Was there a moment where you could say you told your family, or do you reckon they already knew, or was there a moment, Craig, where you were like, listen,
my dad always knew. My mum thinks she was in denial about it, and I think I told her when I was like 16, maybe 17, I can't really remember the exact age. And she was like, "Oh, it's because you're in college and you're doing acting and performing and stuff." And I was like, "All right,
you're just feeling into your edges."
I was like, "All right, Maria." And then I told her when I was 18, and she was like really upset about it. Because obviously, firstborn, she wants, and I'm going to have kids anyway, but that thing goes through her head. And then my dad was just like, doesn't bother me, I couldn't love you more. And it was like,
bosh.
Yeah. So
a lot of the time as well, you'd imagine it to be the other way.
The other way, yeah. I was dreading.
Well, I've got 3 boys and I've got a little girl, and like I've had my mate say before, Jack, what would you do if he was gay, lad? And I'd say, there's nothing I could do if he was gay, lad. I'd support him in the same way as I would if he was straight. You know, if my kids want to go to dance, I'll take them. Do you know what I mean? Whatever they want to do, Craig, I'll support them wholeheartedly. Like my middle lad now, he plays football, and I say to him, the main things is, Ruben, you need to enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, mate, we're not doing it. So the second you're not enjoying it, you tell me you're not enjoying it, mate, and we won't do it. Let's do what you want to do, because life is too short. And why do we all want to impress everyone or please everyone? Craig, answer me that.
Do you know me?
People
like now,
say,
yeah.
Can I just say this? So many people I hear say, you know, I don't care what other people think, and that. You're lying. You do. We all do to an extent. Why?
I don't know. I don't. It's not that I don't care what people think, because I do, and I'm very much. In case you haven't noticed, I love being in the spotlight, and I'm very much. I like being centre of attention. I like attention. It's probably a character default, like probably from living a double life my whole life.
Yeah.
So I kind of like to be in the centre of it. So it's not that I don't care what people think. I just won't change for them now. Like I don't live up to anyone's standard. Like I live up to my own, and I don't really know why people care so much. Instagram's probably got a lot to do with it when we talking about the comparison thing before. But I always remember there's a song by Jay-Z, and he goes, "Don't compare me to nobody, I'm offended," or something he says in it, and I thought, you know what, like that's like we've all got our own
power
lane.
in that.
You say, and you've got you're your own league. You know, you don't have to. You're not in competition with anyone.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing, because it won't alter my life. But for some reason, a lot of people seem to feel that way. Like if someone's really successful, they can hate on it, but it doesn't impact their life. If someone's in a really bad place, it also doesn't impact your life.
Yeah.
So it's like reach out, help people, try and be a good person. But I just feel like there is a lot of comparison, and then there's the other side of the coin where people look inwards at themselves and they criticise themselves. Like I was saying to me and my missus and a friend the other day, they were both saying about like losing weight and this, that and the other, and I was like, listen, you're good the way you are, but like, she's like, no, I want to be like this and I want to be like that. And I was like, yeah, I understand that, but would you get up in the morning and look at your mate and go, you fat bastard? You wouldn't.
No.
So why'd you do that to yourself in the mirror? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, why do we say these nasty things about ourselves and we affirm them to ourselves? If your friend comes to you with a problem or wanted, you'd give them advice. You'd say, no, Craig, you can do this, lad. You can smash this, you know. I'm behind you. I've got you. But then maybe if that spun and I was in the same situation, maybe I wouldn't be that supportive of myself. We need to support ourselves more. We need to be there for ourselves more. And I think that is an instilled default in all of us, that we just all hate on ourselves quickly. We all judge ourselves quickly, you know. And it can be a good thing because you get growth from judging yourself.
Oh, I agree.
But it can hinder you as well massively.
Well, I went on the What's Happening podcast, and if they'd have told me this before, I might not have been as confident going on. So when they said I was coming on the show, they got like messages off some people going, why have you got him on the show? He looks like a pretentious bastard, all this stuff. And then when it came out, Gary actually said to me, and they were like, oh my God, you actually sound him like he's a proper scouser and all that. And I think if I'd have known people were thinking that of me before I went on,
you might have went on.
I'd have probably went on and like overthought
being someone,
and
maybe not being your true authentic self.
I'd have probably held myself back because I'd have been like, oh my God, if I say this, because normally I'll just, like what I said to you, I said, don't send me the questions. I like to be as shocked as what comes up my mouth as you will. So I might have been a bit different, and I'm glad. So it people, when you overthink things and you think people are talking about you, or if you're cautious on anything because of you're worrying about what people are thinking, then it just changes the whole dynamic of who you are.
It hinders you, doesn't it?
It does.
What was your mentality like back then? Do you know when you were growing up and like, you were in your teens and it was hard and like, you're starting to go out there and you're finding a place for yourself in the world, which we all do. We leave school, we don't know what we're going to do, we don't know what career path we're going to follow. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. And even the ones who do, 9 times out of 10, don't end up becoming what they thought they were going to become, because life deals us different hands, which we know. We're trying to find our social circles because things change, and the kids who were cool become not cool, and the kids who weren't cool become cool. That seems to happen a lot as well. For you, at that time, leaving school, trying to explain to your mum, that you're gay, your mum's a bit in denial, 16 to 18 type of thing. There's a bit of a not acceptance around that there for you, Craig, and that. What was your mentality like then? What was your mindset like then?
I was a hot mess, if you will. It wasn't the best at all. I didn't know who it was. I was like, I had a very, very strong identity flaw at that time. So one day I'd want to be this when I grew up, and then one day I'd want to be something else, and then it was just none of them blend together and make sense, and it was like that for I'd say a good 7 years, and that was hard. It was hard not knowing who you are, who you want to be, or who you think you can be because of X, Y, and Z. And it wasn't the best mindset, and no one even talked about mental health then. No one even spoke about. Everyone knew about mental health, but it was not the thing to say,
Yeah, it weren't cool. It weren't a buzzword.
It wasn't a thing, no. So, many people then just turned to drugs, and
it was cool to be on drugs back then. It was cool to go out and party. It was, it was a different scene. It was a different world then, weren't it? You know what I mean?
It
and
really
that was, if you started like meditating and doing yoga and talking about mindset back then, you'd just get laughed at.
You called it tree hugger.
Yeah,
you did. And we've all been at fault of saying stuff like that, and like looking back to it wasn't the best. Like, do you know what's mad? Like, I look back on my life now, and my late teens and my 20s, I feel like I'm looking in someone else's life.
Yeah, there's 2 Craigs.
There's probably about 10 different Craigs and personalities. But no, it feels like I'm watching someone else's life, and I'm like wanting to give that person advice.
Did you need you now, then?
Definitely. 1,000,000%.
On that note, if there's anybody out there watching this now who's struggling with the sexuality or just who they are in general, what would your message be to that person, Craig?
Ooh. I mean, the first thing is always confide in someone, especially with the way, you know, being alone can make you feel, and how you can take actions and make really stupid mistakes. I would say, you know, just be you, but also confide in someone. That's the most important thing. If it weren't for my best mate and me speaking to her constantly, she, you know, I probably wouldn't be in the mindset. Like that was the start of a good mindset. Like
What's her name?
Christina.
Shout out Christina.
Christina. She got a nickname, Janet Nail. That's another story though. But
Janet. Shout out Janet.
Shout out
Janet's better.
But yeah, no, Janet's a psycho. Janet's good. But no, it's like, you know, you've got to have some type of stability when you don't feel stable, and that's probably the first thing I'd say you've got to do.
Who are you at the very core, Craig? Let's peel back the layers. Who is Craig Cavanagh? Who are you
Craig
as
Cavanagh.
a person? What are your core values? Who are you?
I'm a perfectionist, bit of a hothead, 100-mile-an-hour person, but I'm ride or die. Like,
Yeah.
I'm there for, like, I've that girl we've just mentioned. I've been mates with her for 27 or 8 years. I'm very loyal, but I'm also like very. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm very stubborn. I like things a certain way, but it's only because they'll work that way. Honestly, no. But no, I'm a very, like, you know, and do you know what? There's another thing as well. Like,
You're always right.
You know, I'm never wrong. No, I am. I'm wrong sometimes. No, I am. And you know what? It took years for me to even admit, admit when I'm wrong, and I do it now, and I do it with pride.
I think it's a strength to open up to our vulnerabilities.
It is. But it's like, you know, I'm the most loyal person in the world, but when someone like shits on me, I'll just shit on them back, and people go, "You should rise above it." But I hate when you react to someone who's done something to you.
Yeah.
Then you become the villain, and you're like, "How am I the villain?" Like, I'm reacting to.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, and do you know what? You shouldn't. You know, revenge isn't the best path, or whatever you want to call it. You know, you say something back to someone, or you know, you say something which is more cutthroat than what they said, or whatever situation it is. It's like you shouldn't resort to that, but you always end up being the thing, and that's my thing.
Would you say you're a reflective person then, Craig? Like in the sense of not looking back, but in terms of like a mirror image, you give what you get. If someone's nice to you, you're nice to them. Yeah. If someone's nasty to you, you're nasty to them.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's not, and I'm getting better at it now. Like sometimes I'll just turn the other way, but you know when it's someone who you really trust, or you've been friends with, or you've gone out of your way for them.
Yeah.
When that's when I can't hold myself back. So I'm the most
cuts
loyal
deeper
person.
then, no?
It does.
It's more if it's someone you don't know and you know they come out of the ship and say something nasty to you. It's like you might just give them a bit of abuse, but if someone has actually done something to you and you know them and you've got a relationship with that person and you've built a bond, you've got rapport, you've built trust, and then they do something to you and it hurts.
I'm proud to say that I'm a work in progress, and I'm not always the bigger man in a situation, but I'll hold my hands up to it, and I you know, it's something that I'm so much better with now than what maybe 10 years ago. But yeah, that's the only thing I'd say about me that I probably need to work on a little bit more.
Do you think you've matured with age in that sense?
Probably in the last 4 or 5 years I've matured more than I ever thought I would.
It's crazy, isn't it? It makes you the better person.
It actually does.
I know you've had dark times in the past mentally, haven't you? And I hope you don't mind me saying this or touching on this. And if you do, please say. But you attempted to take your own life on the 4th of March 2023.
I did.
Why?
Yes.
Why, Craig?
It goes back to what we said before. So it was everyone was like, you know, like, well, not everyone was like, it was afterwards when they found out, but like at the time, so I'd just won the hospitality award. I'd smashed it in Alma. Like I had this really good life, but I didn't feel anything. And it was probably I was probably, it was more dark than when we were in COVID, because obviously in COVID I was away. I was used to being around.
Your life was taken away from you
people,
because you were in the hospitality sector.
And I'm a hugger. I'm a very huggy person. That's just the way. Even when people, I just go, I'm a hugger. You know, I want to hug people. So at the time, I had all these brilliant accolades that I could relate to, and I wasn't happy. And when I mean I wasn't happy, I mean I was the lowest I've ever been in my life, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And I was like that for a couple of months, and I did have one or two people around me that weren't the right people, and I didn't really have that support. I pulled away from like letting things out. I was bottling things up, which isn't me at all. Pulled away from my family. My best mate didn't really see me, and I just didn't want to be here. And that was the most mortifying time in my life, and I didn't think about anyone who would leave here, that's not like me at all either. It was like there was this weird calm when I decided that I wanted to do it. I wrote letters to certain people, and I left letters for my mum, and I actually don't know the full reason. I think some of it was still leftover damage from COVID. Some of it was from that, but there was just something missing in my life. And when I was in the hospital, and they were like, you're actually lucky to be here, and
what did you do, Craig?
Well, I've got the scars and the mental and the physical ones to prove it. So yeah, I went down to the worst thing you could do. I really didn't want to be here. And she said to me when I got there, she was like, you've hit no arteries. I took a load of stuff, and they said your toxicology is fine, your kidneys are fine. You're lucky to be here. And I was just never thinking, and I was just crying my eyes out. And I was like, she was like, just do you feel like doing it now? And I went, no. And I'm so glad I'm alive. It was like I was looking at it going,
I've had a second chance.
So someone's gave me a second chance in life, and I'm not going to fuck it up. And I swear it was my dad. Like, I swear to God it was my dad. And I remember seeing my little brother afterwards, which was probably the most shocking bit of it. And he was like, you're not going to try and do this again and leave me, are you? And I was like, rough. This is rough. Yeah, it's I don't mind talking about it. And then I didn't tell anyone for a year, because I didn't want anyone to give me a pity job or a pity anything. I built myself back up, got a great job, kept it to myself, trained hard. I won 2 more awards that year, and then it came to the year of the anniversary, and I was so okay with what had happened, because it is all right to have not been okay in situations. And I came to the year anniversary, and I just decided I wanted to let people know about it, because I made probably the most stupid mistake I've ever and will ever make. And I've got this second chance, and I certainly haven't wasted it. And I just feel like if anyone else is feeling like that, they should know, like, it's not all rosy, and like looking at what you think on social media is the perfect perception is actually not. There's a dark side to everyone, and that was my dark side, and I've came out the other end. And I hope the reason I did get this second chance is so I can give other people look.
I love you for being so open, honest to God. I swear, I really, really do. I admire you. I took the liberty. That's one of the first times I've ever been emotional on this podcast, and serious thing, Craig. I took the liberty of going on your social media and having a look at what you posted around that time. And on that day, you created 2 posts on Instagram. And the first was a picture of you in a club that was thriving, and the caption read, "They can steal your recipe, but that sauce won't taste the same."
True. It's true.
So, and the second was a reel of an image of you looking really well in a pair of shades, and one of your own tracks playing over it again in the background, another banger, and it was Back to Life. And I thought, how ironic was that?
I know.
What was your thought process at that time?
Well, do you know, when I put that post out, because the song was coming out not long after that, and I thought, I'm not going to be here, so I want to make sure it comes out. But the original version of that song, Bring You Back to Life, I wrote that about me best mate Christina, because her sister died of cancer like a long time ago. God, what is going on with me today? So I wrote that song, and it came out in March 2013, and then the remix was coming out 10 years later. And because it was the 3rd of March when I posted it, I thought, I'm not going to be here to when it comes out. So
it was really powerful. And last night I was having a look at it, and I was thinking to myself, I can't wait to ask him this question. I need to ask him this question. I want to try and get inside your mind and know.
I wanted the last 2 posts to be something to reflect. So obviously the one that was with us on the bar top, that picture, that was like to reflect only hospitality, and Paul was in that picture, and there was someone else, but we don't mention. We don't give any airtime to people we don't speak to anymore.
We don't talk about Bruno no more.
Yeah, we don't know him, as Americans would say. Hey, so yeah, I wanted the last 2 posts to be something that my family could look at and go,
I just feel like giving you a hug, Craig. I really do. You are enough, and we love you, lad. Seriously.
Thank you.
I mean that. You've been presented with a lot of problems, but you've also been presented with awards.
Yes.
You're a 5 times award winner. And I know some of them awards were for LGBTQ awards. You're an ambassador for difference. You're a promoter for change. And you should be proud of yourself for having the courage to be different and the courage to be you.
Oh, thank you, mate.
There's no bigger challenge than ourselves. In our own mind, it can be our biggest asset, or it can also create inner chaos, which can turn to lead to self-sabotage, limiting belief, self-criticism, self-doubt, all the stuff we've spoke about before. Can you tell me how you've overcome all these obstacles, Craig, or if you've overcome them?
I haven't. Do you know what? My biggest obstacle, which literally puts all of them into things, is I've got the worst imposter syndrome, and it comes from people going, "Who does he think he is?" Like, you know, and people say it. They don't say it to me face, but I know they say it. Some people, I think I don't really get that many, but I've had the odd like hate comments, and I just laugh at them and I troll them back. But mine's the worst imposter syndrome, because like I always question, oh my God, like, am I? It's not that I'm not good enough, but I feel like I'm not. I don't think I'm famous by any means, but people come over like and give me a hug, like, and they'll let on to me like because they follow me. And
I'd say you're locally famous, Craig. People know you. I knew who you were before you come on this podcast. I knew.
But that's mad. That's mad to me.
There's levels of fame. Yeah. Stephen Bartlett. You went to the show in town in the Empire Theatre. So did I, because I seen you there. And I was going to approach you. We were at the bar, like here. I was getting a water or whatever before. I was going to come over and say, "Are you Craig? You're okay? Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Do you fancy coming on?" That was back then. But I thought, no, the time was off because I could see people. I had to get my confidence up, Dave. And I could see people were talking to you and all that, and I just thought, no, the time's not right, Jack, give them space and just leave them. And then, you know, so I'd say locally, people know of you. Fame is, a commodity of fame is where people know who you are and you don't know them. And I'd say locally, you do have that.
I know, but that's my thing. So I don't feel that. I just feel like I've been around in hospitality for 14 years it is now. And, you know, I'm not in my 20s, I'm at the end of my 30s, so I just feel like I've just been around a long time, so I don't see it like that. So then when people send me like, and you know what, I get asked to promote stuff all the time, and I don't do it because I'm not like, I don't. That's not my thing. I'm not an influencer. I'm just Craig. And so there's only like certain brands.
There's
like,
limits, because it
like
takes
L1 Sense. I've worked with them for years.
Supreme
CBD.
Anthony Fowler. Shout out Anthony. I'd love to have Anthony on.
He's a really good friend. I'll put a word in for him.
Yeah.
So when people approach me to do these things, I'm like, why are they approaching me? And that's probably my worst thing. Like I second guess everything that I do before I do it.
But I think as well, things have got to align with who you are. So, you know, if someone's got a brand and they want you to promote their brand, but it doesn't really align with Craig Cavanagh, then it takes away an element of your identity, because when we're associated with something, it's not a part of who we are. It isn't our identity, but people perceive it to be. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Some people will sell anything, and you know what? That's
their thing, and they're not bothered, and that's good for them. But if you want to keep who you are, you want to have that authenticity about yourself, it's a minefield, and you've got to be careful if you are in the public eye a little bit, and you are going down that road because you are your brand, Craig. Do you know what I mean? So
one of my mates said that to me about 2 years ago, and I was like, I'm not a brand. And they're like,
you are.
No, you are. People really buy into what you're saying. I was like, I couldn't get my head around it. I was like, me?
Yeah, you are.
Half the time, I don't know what I'm potty mouthed. Like, I don't give the best advice. Like,
it's like we said about Simo before, and you said he's a beast. Simo's a brand. Like Apex Liverpool is built off him. You know, Craig Cavanagh Cavanagh is you. You know what I mean? So it's like where, you know, I've got a blind shop, Green Lane Blinds. I am not that brand. That brand's that brand, but you are your own brand. So that is where, you know, people identify you with you. If that makes sense.
But that's probably the worst thing. That's probably the most thing I struggle with. Like when I'm, you know, whenever there's an opportunity to get a good accolade or anything like that. That's what I struggle with. Like, well, I think I was nominated for 4 British Fitness Awards this year. 4.
Sure.
I was like, how? It's mad. And then I'm actually up for the Liverpool Tourism Awards for the Unsung Hero, and I've got an interview with them on the 18th. Because they want to do
it's just all you that in it, like, you're gonna be there in the spotlight looking suave, you know.
Me, yes. I've been called some things in my time, but hero isn't one of them. So so it's so that's imposter syndrome is probably my worst thing, and I'm too much of a perfectionist. I need to pull it back sometimes, because I do my own head in.
Imperfect. My dad's always said to me, this is a good one, Jack, if you spend time chasing perfection, you'll spend a lot of time disappointed. And it's true. You know, imperfect things can sometimes be perfect if we see them for what they are. It's just, we've all got standards, haven't we? And things can irritate you and annoy you. You want everything to be that way, and we try and force things. But when you try and force things, that can create a degree of sadness, because things don't fall how you want them, or they don't look how you want it to look, or, you know, what you had in your vision isn't what's in reality, and it can fucking eat you up, because I know, because I have it.
Well, listen, so this is a prime example. Yesterday, I was looking through my wardrobe thinking, what can I wear on the podcast? And I went and bought this because it says goat on it. Sure. And I thought, it'll make me feel like a goat if I wear this T-shirt.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that where I'll think of things to make me...
You've already seen yourself sitting in that chair, haven't you?
Yeah, as soon as I seen the T-shirt, I went, that's what I'm wearing tomorrow, and I bought it. Just like that, because I thought I will be in that mindset when I'm on the podcast.
I love
tomorrow.
That. I love that. You've had a massive impact on Liverpool's hospitality scene for over a decade. Please tell me how that came to be. How did that happen, Craig?
Well, originally, 2000 and many moons ago, maybe 4 or 5. I worked in the gay scene, and I worked in Garland's. And when I tell you that is one of the most magical places I've ever worked in my life, I'm not lying. It was the best job I've ever had. And then I went into... stepped out of it and I got this really good job in the Liver buildings. On paper, it was a good job. And them 7 years in the Liver buildings were the most miserable time in my life.
What was you doing?
I worked for Prince's.
The line of place.
Yeah, no, the Prince's food. The tuna the canned tuna. And so I was in the customer care in there, and I had so really good money. But I was the most unhappy. Like, my personality was stifled in there. I couldn't really be. I had to like tone myself down, and it got to like the last 2 years, and I didn't. And I ended up walking. And I said to him, I want to go back into hospitality. And she was like, you're going to take a massive pay cut, blah blah blah. So I went to Wetherspoons, the Lloyd's bar, and as soon as I was back there, I found my love for it. Within 6 months, I had my personal license and I had my own pub in Walton.
Wow.
Yeah. I had that with my dad, and so I started there, and then my dad was really sick, and we weren't going to carry the lease on. And I just opened Facebook, and there was this thing, an advert, new bar opening, first tattooed bar in Liverpool, Ink
Igloo.
Bar, and it was the old Igloo.
Which would have been becoming...
And it said something like, if these walls could talk, and I just went, that's what I'm going for. So when I met up with Sean Royden, who's he used to be the owner of it, and as soon as I went in, just spoke to them, he went, you've got the job, and that's how it started.
Ink was the catalyst for you on the hospitality scene, weren't it?
Because I was covered in ink. So it was like, and then they used to call me Mr. Ink, you know what I mean? And, But you know what's funny? In 2013, when I sang at Liverpool Pride, and it was superhero themed, and I was Mr. Incredible, and they called me Mr. Incredible, and then I went to Ink. So yeah, so Ink was a massive, and then because I was a bit weighty at the time then, and then I lost all the weight. I was training, and then I got this massive platform and all this confidence from you know Sean and Kevin, Neil and Dave, the owners of it. They just trusted me, and they nurtured this creative side of me, and then they just let me run free in there.
You developed. You massively
I became a man.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like.
Yeah, you did, because I've had a look back across your career, and do you know what I'd say, Craig, is you've got a passion for life. You get some people who've got a passion for the gym or a night out or yoga or a specific topic, but you seem to have a passion for it all. You like doing it all. You're out there. You seem to know how to have a good time, but you certainly know how to create one.
Yes.
And that is where I feel, you are really, really talented, and it's a massive part of who you are. You know you've got a talent for creating experiences. You know how to create an experience, a vibe, a place or somewhere to go, and that's what people crave. Human connection and experience, and you've got that in spades, and that's who I think Craig Cavanagh is.
Yeah.
You know how to create experience. Do you think hospitality's helped you find you, maybe saved you from you? Mm-hmm. Would you say it's given you the purpose, a sense of identity, feeling, or belonging?
It's the first place I truly ever felt like I belonged. I've done so many other jobs. I'm really good clerical. I'm really good. I'm good administrator, but it was never a passion thing. I feel like the creative side in me, when it comes to creating nights, concepts, giving people a good experience, it's all like a big performance, and it comes from the love that I have for music. Every song I've put out, I wrote, and I created the melody myself, and I can't play anything.
I want to touch on your musical side.
Can't play a thing, but when a melody comes to me, I'll sing it to someone, and they'll play it on the guitar. So, all this creative side and this experience and just the way I am in general, all comes from that. And there's nothing more I love than watching the whole concept that I've created. Down to even what the dancers do. Like, I want the dancers to look like this. I want the costumes to be like this. I want the colour to be like this.
It's sick, lad. What you've done
there's no better feeling.
It's serious. If you want to, it goes into sales. If you want to sell something, it's experience. You're selling people an experience. That's why they want to be wherever that is. That's where they're putting money in the till, and that's what's making the place turn over. And that's your creativity, but your vision, what you've seen, and actually brought it to life. And I've seen you like in and around videos of you, in clubs and that, when it's banging and there's you and you can just see.
Lads, I'm like Chris Jenner. I'm around with the video camera. Yeah. Like, you're doing amazing, sweetie. It's like the dancers and the staff, and that's my thing. But there's honestly no better feeling than watching a customer come in on the birthday or the hen party or a group of lads who've come out for a birthday, and just giving them that extra touch, sparkling on a bottle, giving them a round of shot, making them feel special. And even if I'm not feeling me best, I get more satisfaction out of watching people leave going, that was the best night. Yeah, that's my thing, and that's what I love. Them having the best experience. That's what it's about.
You know how to create that, and I think that's just a natural God-given talent to you. And I feel that gives you your identity. That is, for me on the outside looking in. Above all, that's who I see you are, Craig. Beyond the personality and that side of you, if you said to me, who's Craig Cavanagh, I'd say, he's a king of hospitality. That's what I'd say. The goat.
The goat. No, but seriously, it's like I get so. I've never ever felt content in my life with anything I've really done besides from music. But hospitality gives me that contentment. Is contentment a word? If not, I've just created a word to tell the dictionary.
I'll go with it.
It gives me this this feeling that I've achieved.
A state of peace.
Yeah.
In a peace inside you. You're at one when you're there. You seem to be at one with yourself. That all the issues, all the worries, all the problems, everything goes away. We've all got that place. Music's one of them places for me. I know music's one of them places for you, which we'll come to in a minute. While we were on the subject of identity, what's your views on non-binary, Craig? And I want to ask you this because you're wild and you're out there. And do you want me to tell you my views before we start or no?
Yeah, go on, you go first.
You're either are or you're not. That's my view. So you can be a lad and you can be gay, and I understand that. You know, you can be a lad and be straight and like girls. You can be greedy and like both if you want.
I wish I was greedy. I wish I was that lucky.
You know, and then I believe the same vice versa for girls. You know, you can be a lesbian, you can like girls, you can also like men and whatever. You know, so that's like your sexual orientation, and I'm with that. You know, and I'm fine with that. But I believe as people, we're men or women, and like you're getting a lot of like, I don't identify as this or I don't identify as that, and my head's fell off with it because I'm like, fuck, well, that's who you are though.
So I haven't really got an opinion on it as such, but I think it's because I know who I am, so I'm cool with that. If someone wants to say that they're a plant pot one day, then like if it makes them happy, then fine. And you know, some people really struggle with that side of things. One thing I will say on the matter is, one of my mates said that something in the kids' school, and they got given this piece of paper, the kids to fill in.
It's happening,
and it said, boy, girl, I do not identify. And I think, if they come to you one day and say, I don't know who I am, fair enough, but you shouldn't put it in a child's head at like 6 years of age. Yeah, because they're causing
confusion at an early age. So, and it's happening now in schools, like with my children and stuff like that. You know, it's like they come home and say stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a boy or a girl or whatever. And it's like, whoa, what way's the world going here? And that side of it scares me. It's like, yes, sound, cool, you go and do that and you go and do that, but we are who we are.
We're all, I mean, if someone said, I don't identify as a boy or a girl, I identify as a human, I'd go, okay, you win with that one, because that's what we are first and foremost. But
when people are saying I'm a toaster and all this, I'm like, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
And then if we
some days I wake up and I think I'm a cunt, so you know,
you probably are.
I am. So maybe I'm not. So yeah, I haven't got an opinion on it because I'm not involved in it. Are
you completely at one with who you are?
Now, yeah.
Finally, can you say that?
Me and all my personalities, yeah, we get on now. We get on really well. Yeah, we get on really well.
Do you know what? We are more than one, you know, definitely, because like this is a bit deep, but I've been listening to The Power of Now lately, yeah, and it's like, do you know when you say like, I wasn't happy with myself? Well, that's two people in that sentence. I wasn't happy with myself. So there's more than one thing.
You have it in a voice.
There's two of us in every person. You've got
at least two.
Yeah, with you just fucking 22.
No, but honestly, like, so I remember a guy I follow on Instagram, Charles. He put it up, and he was like, you know, people used to say if you hear a voice in your head, you've lost the plot. But all the time, like sometimes in my head, I either hear mine or my dad's, and it's like, yeah, come on, you can do this, like, you know. And so
we've all got inner voices, and for the positive and for the negative.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's subconsciously, you don't really hear the voice, but that message is played out in your mind, like you can't do this, or because that's pre-programmed, maybe from past traumas, an early age, or you know, other circumstances. Touching on you completely at one with who you are, and you like to break the mold and stuff. There's nothing that really says I don't give a fuck like walking 26 miles through England in speedos and a cowboy hat. Walk me through that experience and tell us what that was like.
26 miles, and you know what? There was not. Do you know what it was? Obviously, we were doing it for the charity. It was a mate of mine called Elliot. He does it all the time, and he was like, "Do you want to come and do one with me?" And he was like. No one's ever completed one though, and I went, as soon as he said that, I was like, I'm completing this whether I'm dying or not. So we done it, and you know what? The plus side of it was I got so much attention, people beeping and stopping. So there was a plus side to not just making money, but it was like
Yeah, it was a bit of you,
Near
innit?
enough bolloco, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's why I belong in a hot climate. I really would just prefer to walk around in shorts.
Yeah.
Like that's like my type of vibe. So it was fun. It was brilliant. We walked the whole way. I was just eating CBD gummies and edibles, and we had a ball, like honestly. And then we got to the end of it, and so we were a couple of miles away from where we were finishing. I think 2 miles. I put on Instagram like, is anyone here to give us a lift back? And these Scouse lads were on the way back, seeing it on the story, drove back and picked us up and brought us home.
Scousers for you, that.
Scousers, innit? Honestly.
Did you feel liberated? No, when you were walking down the road and like you're in speedos and a cowboy hat and people were beeping and you were actually on the streets, was it like a liberating feeling at the same time?
People were beeping, so it was a lot of encouragement, but it was something I'd never done before. Some people thought I wouldn't be able to complete it, and I did, and so it was a very accomplishing task.
It's an incredible achievement. Well done.
Thank you.
Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Probably non-famous. Probably my mum. She just pushes through and she just gets on with it. You know, she gets shit done. And, you know, no matter how. You know, she's not a moped about, like, she's always open. Like, she's always had this thing with me. It's probably why I'm the way I am. Like, don't leave the house looking like this. You know, you go, you know, and always walk down the street like there's a camera on you. And she gave like really good models and ways to live by. But when I look at her and she had some really bad times when she was younger, and then she met my dad, and they had the best marriage, and I look at her and I go, you know what, you've got this. Like, sometimes she doesn't think she has, but she's the reason why she's the one that holds she's the
it
matriarch
together
of our family. She always has been, and yeah, she's probably my mum, definitely.
It's a good answer. It's a different answer as well.
As we would say, my ma.
Yeah, my ma. I know you've got a massive passion for music, and I know it's also helped you through some of your hardest battles. Where does your passion for music come from?
It was an escapism from a very young age. So I've always listened to the lyrics. Like, some people love the beat of the music or whatever. I'm a lyricist. Like, I was very good at English language. I was very into artsy stuff, and I used to write poems at a young age, and I was really good with just flowing with words. And when I would listen to music, it would take me away from all the stuff that I was struggling with. Everything, like, there's a song for every problem I went through that's pulled me through it. There's like a song of the decade where I go, you know what, I'll remember.
Yeah, there's connection to
music,
music, isn't there, Craig? Like, you could hear a certain song and you'd be out somewhere and it just teleports you straight back to that situation. It could be good emotion, you're like, yeah, you're flying because it takes you back there. Or it could be a bad one where you're like, fuck, turn that off.
Like, miss me with that, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
But it's like, so when we talk about the 90s area, like, one of the biggest songs, there's like probably a few, but I always think of when I lived in Walton, all I can ever hear is Fantasy by Mariah Carey, because that was massive at the time. Yeah. So and I'm a big fan of hers. I think she's a brilliant songwriter. No one's ever going to be better than her. But so there was certain songs, albums, and that I would like get into. And I used to be in the choir. And then my voice broke, and my dad was like, "Oh, you'll probably never be able to sing again." And because he said that, I had the determination. So I started. I was in a cabaret show for years, singing Enrique Iglesias' Hero, all this other stuff.
I reckon you'd suit all that as well, yeah. A bit of pants. I see you in pants holder.
Do you know what though? I'm more of, so I feel more. I get really. I've got really bad stage fright, and you wouldn't think so.
No, you wouldn't.
I get such bad stage fright. I think of everything that can go wrong.
I do see you in the Empire now, though, Craig. Now you've just said that, and I'm just picturing that. You and Leanne Campbell there.
Love Leanne, by the way. Shout out to Leanne.
Leanne.
She's a good egg. So yeah, so it came into that, and then I remember I wrote my first song in 2009. And then I was on MTV Unsigned shortly after that with that one song. I wrote it with this fella called Gary Irwin. Hi Gary, I've seen you for many moons, and he's from the dark side, but he's okay.
Yeah,
over the water. So I wrote it with him. Ended up being on MTV Unsigned. I think I got like in the top 40 out of 100, and Man was the only song that it was literally me and Mike and him in his studio. There was like it was no full production.
It was raw.
So then I wrote another couple of songs, but then that was the main one called Rise Again. And then this fella had heard it. His name was Brad May, and he worked with an extensive music who'd won a Grammy Award for Sting. So he was like, come down, I want to re-record that song with you. And I was like, okay. So I went down there, and I went, we've only got 2 days to re-record it. I went, we'll be done in a couple of hours, trust me. And he was like, what? And I was like, trust me, like, blah, blah, blah. I went, I've got these other ideas. He went, well, if we finish the song in a day, we can look at another one idea. And I went, okay. So we done it in 3 hours, done all my own backing vocals, everything. And he was like, so, and I sang him these other 2 ideas I had, put them together. And then on the last day, he started playing this piano chord. And I was like, oh, this sounds like Emily Sandé, this. And I started singing just off the top of my head. And that was the song was written. It's the only song I've ever written without writing the words down. Because I've got all the original record, the original piece of paper that I wrote the other songs on.
Wow, yeah.
So I never think of that. So we released it, and it done quite well. It went,
What song was that?
It was called Green Eyed Soul, the EP.
Yeah,
so there was 4 songs on it, and it done really well. And that was my thing.
Pommy was a bit of a banger.
Well, I nearly never recorded it because it wasn't my. What I usually wrote.
It was a bit of a reggae vibe. It was a bit of a... I was having a little listen and I was thinking, yeah, he's a dark horse, my man here, he's got the beats.
Well, we sang, when I sang it to him originally, it was just all in the same like voice, chest voice, and like lower tone. And then when I got to the chorus, I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to go into falsetto here. And I'd done it, and it lifted the song, and it made the song completely different. Brad Tavares tweeted me, the MMA fighter, saying he did it sounded like Jason Mraz, and he loved it.
You've got a very good voice. When I thought I'll have a little listen here, see what he's like. And I'll be honest with you, I was shocked. I was like, wow, my man can sing.
Music's an amazing thing for me. So there's a body of work now that I look at and I go, do you know what? Shortly after that, it was like... my dad got sick shortly after that, so the music put it on hold. I was going through a really bad time, and it makes me sad that I didn't progress more with it.
Do you still sing now, Craig?
But
to yourself and that?
Sometimes, yeah. There might be something I'm going to work on with someone soon, maybe probably next year. But that's just like a one-off project that I'm going to do with them. But it makes me sad that I didn't go further with it because of what was going on in my life. But I've got a body of work there now that I am. No one can take that away from me. When people hear it, they go, "Oh my god, they're shocked," and I'm like,
do you know if you ever go out on that, Craig? Do you ever like get up and do a little turn and stuff like that?
But I get up and then everyone goes like, "You take it too serious when you get up there," and I'm like, "Yeah, because that's just the way I am." Like I'll get up there and I'll be like, I won't like people get on and they'll have a laugh, and I'll go, "No, I'm gonna get up there and like."
When we go to like the Chinese karaoke, and I won't give no one a go, will I? Dan, I'm in there. I'm loving it.
I just love it. I think I've always belonged on some type of stage. I think, and that's what it is with me.
You definitely are. Some people are born for that, aren't they? And I believe you are. Fitness. You're big on fitness and looking after yourself. What was the turning point or the calling for you for that change? What happened for you in your life where you thought, you know what, I'm going to hit the gym and I'm going to get in the best shape of my life? So I seen a photo of you and I'll get Martin to pull it up. And it's like, one's one side.
It needs a bigger screen.
And one's one side. And you're just like a normal dude, you're an everyday dude. And on the other side, you've ripped up, proper toned and stuff like that. And I'm like... Take some work getting into that shape, and it's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of your time. It's a disciplined mind frame. You've got to be careful with what you're eating. You've really got to work hard. And 9 times out of 10, if someone wants to do that, Craig, there's an end goal. Do you know what I mean? Whether you could be a fighter, you could be an athlete where you're competing. So there's a reason for you to do that. But for you, it's for you. Mm-hmm. What was the catalyst for that?
I felt like I did put a bit of weight on around when my dad got sick, and then afterwards, when he it was probably about 217. I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Who is this guy?" It was like, there's about 10 chins, and it was just. I remember going, like, you need to sort your health out, and I wanted to build an armor for myself, for when I'd found myself. So it was like building an armor for the new me. So I wanted to build something, and instead of just like going in and training and working it off, I stripped all the fat off because I wanted to feel like brand new and fresh, and then I built the muscle afterwards.
Yeah.
So I lost all the weight. I done it like safely. Didn't do a fad diet. Just went done a lot of cardio and just ate a lot less, and then it started training slowly, and then endorphins and adrenaline aside, I remember every time I looked in the mirror, I was getting happier with how I looked, and it just changed. It changed who I was, and the stronger I was getting for me age, and
it has an impact mentally as well as physically,
definitely.
doesn't it? Physical fitness, it can change your mental state completely as well as your physical state. I think for me, when I work out, it's more for my mental state than it is for my physical state, because I feel better after I've worked out, and I know I paid my dues today. That's that done. I know. Like, it makes me feel, because I know in my mind I've done it. It makes me feel like it's set me up for the day, like I'm ready for the day, I'm ready to take the day on. Plus, you do get the endorphins off exercise where you're like, you're bouncing, you feel good. And I feel shit when I don't do it.
Looking good naked is just a happy accident to it. The mental side of it is probably the best for it. Really is.
Are you competing at all? I seen you put something up about like a competition.
Yeah, 2026. So I'm going to do the over 40s physique. So
That's
I'm currently 2 months into a 6 month bulk, which I hate. I hate bulking. My happy space is cutting. I love it. Yeah, and everyone says you're so weird, and I'm like, because I like to be in control. I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
So I like to be in control, and when I'm in control of everything, I'm my happiest. Eating over, like, obviously it's not even overeating. My trainer's brilliant. Connor, shout out to Connor. But it's just eating so much, and I think it's a psychosomatic thing where I'm like, I don't want to be fat again. Yeah.
It kicks in, where you're thinking to yourself, I want to put loads of weight on.
So I'm competing in 2026 with the over 40s physique. I'm going to do physique.
It's going to be boss, Craig. I'm going to look forward to it. I'll keep an eye out on it for you. I know you love this city. I know you really do. I've heard you be referred to as Mr. Liverpool before. And I'd say you're an ambassador for the city, Craig. Like, you really are. You love it. Wow. If you had to sum this city up with 3 words, what would they be?
Real, authentic, loving. Obviously, there's certain things and certain situations that some people aren't them things, and that's okay. It's the same in every city, but you'll never get a city like ours.
No, we were welcoming, aren't we? We were warm. Scousers, like, if you walk down the road, you let on to someone, you talk to them. Hiya, lad.
I smile at everyone.
Yeah, so do I. But you know what? The world's changed, because I said this to Carmen a few weeks ago. Carmen's my missus, by the way. I said to her, Carmen. She'll be made up. She wants to be your fucking best mate, Craig. I'll be walking down the road and someone will approach me and I don't know them, and I'll just smile at them, because that's who I am. I'm just polite. We were raised like that, you know what I mean? You let on to someone, and nowadays some people do just walk past you and I'm like, wow, what the fuck? Or I'll be driving down the road and I'll like flash you to let you go. You'll come down, I'll let you go, and you don't even say thank you, and I'm like, fuck. I wanted to turn my car around and ram you.
See, I'm like that. Like, some people, I'll smile at them and they go, like, because people go to me, how do you feel when people come over to you and like speak to you like they know you, and like, or they'll let on, I go, it doesn't bother me, because I smile at everyone anyway. If I'm in a rush, some people say they see me and I've got my earphones and I'm just like I'm like 100 mile an hour, but I'll always let on to everyone. But like, I don't know, an ambassador for the city. I'd love to think of myself like that.
Well, you are, because you're always like, you love Liverpool. I'd say, like, hospitality. You're really big in hospitality. Like, you're a face of like the night scene. I'd say people know who you are locally, and you're always like you're always being positive for the city. It's a boss place. You're very proud of who you are. I
wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
No, that's what I mean. So yeah, I'd say you are, yeah. You fly the flag for us, don't you, lad? 100%.
I think it was Lee Morrison who he said, what did he call it? He played me song on the radio.
I seen it, and he
was like, some call him
Mr. Liverpool.
Some call him Miss. No, what's he say? Some call him Scouse royalty. I call him Mr. Liverpool, and I was like, I love that for me. Yeah. Scouse royalty. Like, imagine being Scouse royalty. Yeah. It's so nice. When people say nice things like that, that's where the imposter thing. And I'm like, well, I'm sure there's more people who be more qualified for that role. They think it's my head, but it's so nice.
That's how you see it. It's crazy, because how we see ourselves is not how other people see us. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. What are you doing now? Am I right in saying you're an events and hospitality consultant?
Yeah, so I've got my own consultancy firm called iConsultancy. Yeah, so it's
Tell us
Iconic Consultancy, and the C's are big for my initials, CC, so it creates the whole thing. So it's basically like an, what's the word I'm looking for? So it's like everything you need in hospitality, like most of the stuff that you would need, building a concept, building a drinks menu, core manual building, team training, getting staff in, because I've got a really good black book of people who I've worked with over the years. It's like a one-stop shop for hospitality, and so I started that I left Mama San in the May, started like consultancy straight away. Got my first job helping my mate Jay open a Michi, which used to be Justino's.
Yeah.
Amazing place that, by the way. Hello, Michi. And so I got that job straight away. Really lucky to get a job straight away. Then I left that job where I'd done my stuff, and then I got the opportunity to go back to Mason's, where I am now as the creative manager across the Sefton collection. So they've got Dicey Rise Irish Pub, we've got the new Clubhouse wedding and event venue, Mason's, the Roebucks Hotel, and they've also got Sefton Park, the Sefton Park Hotel. Connor's, he's the big boss, and I love Connor. So yeah, it was great to go back and work for them. So I'm there as a consultant now, built another couple of new concepts with them, and it's really coming on well. So it's good to be a consultant, because I get the best of both worlds, because I used to be the general manager there.
So but now it's different. You're still there, but in a different role, in a slightly different capacity. So your services, what they consist of them? How can someone hire you, Craig? Can someone hire you? Can someone reach out and get in touch with you?
At the minute, I can't take any work until January.
Yeah.
But I'll still be at Mason, so I'm contracted there for 4 days a week. But if anyone wants to go on my LinkedIn or to my Instagram and shoot me a message, all the information about iConsultancy there, and the website's coming soon now, which I'm really excited about.
Amazing.
It's like a whole, I'll have to show you the brochure, but the website's going to be like a whole collage of everything I've done from Ink Bar right up until
that's going to be unbelievable.
Now. And I honestly, so what I've started doing, and I haven't put them up yet because I'm not good at DIY. That's where I am gay. I'm not good at DIY. No, I'm only joking. Some gay people I know are really good at DIY. I'm not good with the drill. Like I'd wreck the wall.
Yeah.
So I've got all my posters and all my concepts I've made over the years. I've had them blown up, and I'm going to put them in.
That's going to be amazing.
Picture and put them around my apartment in town. So it'd be, because I like a plain wall, but I don't mind pictures. I can do like wallpaper, I don't like colours, but everything's going to go up on my wall. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Cavanagh City, tell me all about it. What inspired it?
Oh God, yeah. So it was originally I signed up just for 3 months. Got a sponsor, which is JD Tester, my mate John. He sponsored the show. And Cavanagh City was it was a really different show to everyone else's. So I would get either local or sometimes national. I had a couple of national people on there, people who weren't Scouts as well, to come on. And instead of just getting them on and interviewing what they're doing now, I wanted to know the whole life story. I wanted to get. So I used to take them back to like when they were kids, and then I would like pinpoint things out that's what made you who you are. So I had Anthony Fowler on, just to name a few. I had Mikey from I Kissed a Boy on. I had John May on, and you know I had Fab Equity, used to be the lip doctor in McGull, and I had all these really amazing people on, and I wanted to like get the full journey of their life. Like it was a bit like This Is Your Life. So I'd take them through everything. I don't play some practical fun games on them. So I'd ring the missus and like get them to like leave a voice note about something, and like I'd ask them questions and then trip them up on it. And so it was such a different show, and every week was a different style of music. So, and I would pick the playlist. So there was like the 90s, and there was like we had some really good eclectic choices, because I would play album cuts that people hadn't heard, and on the first week alone I had like Thames on, and Thames is massive now, the singer, but there was like a couple of songs that like people hadn't heard, and there was one off Ariana Grande's album hadn't been released, and I put them all on my first week's playlist, and people were like, oh my god, these are really good songs. So I just wanted to play
your own collection.
I wanted
your personality, listen to what I listen to. You could feel you through the show. Are you going to do any more of it?
Yes, well, it's a perfect platform to do it. So, in association with Luke Belair, the the champagne company. I've worked with them for years in Ink and Alma. I'm going to be starting my own podcast in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be called Champagne with Cavanagh.
It's going to be sick.
And it's like CHAM and then the word pain with Cavanagh.
Sick.
So
I like
champagne,
that.
and it's talking about it's creating a comfortable space for people to open up. You know, to be like local men of the hour. People like I want to get people on there who've got a really good story, who've came through adversities. And the tagline, what was it? The tagline something like, bubbles, cocktails and mocktails. Who wouldn't want to open up to Craig? So it's like
I can feel
so
that.
do you know? But you know what it is? So obviously for years in hospitality, people have come and you become like an agony aunt, and I'll have a drink with them, and
they'll start talking to you,
and they've ended up being my mate. So this is like me having my own venue in a room, but it's like having bar talk in a room with one person. So my first guest is going to be Luke Nevin. He's a fighter, and his manager approached me and said, "Can he come on your radio show?" And I was like, "Oh, I was only done the show for 3 months." I said, "Oh, I've had this idea for 2 years. Fuck it, let's just launch it." So that's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. All my banner's getting made now. Me big, you want to see it? It's sick.
I'm excited
it's
for
really
you.
Good. And you know, I can have a bevy of people and just let loose.
Gonna be sick, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. That's really exciting for me.
Yeah, you'll be able to express yourself 100% and, you know, again, put your personality across, and it's your space, and you're telling other people's stories. And how many times you sit there and you have a conversation with someone, it could be in a fucking sauna, in the bar or whatever, and you think more people needed to hear that, like they were an inspiring person, or, you know, it blows your mind, and you think, yeah, I wish someone else heard that conversation, or you'll go away and you'll share that conversation, like, not the personal details of it, but the good things, the pointers you took from it. You're getting to share that with everyone.
Well, listen to this, right? I won't tell you too much because I want to try and get him on your show, but I've known Anthony Fowley for a long time. And I come on my radio show and we went back and I found things out about his past that I didn't know. And he was like, shall I keep, like, we had like a break in between. He's like, shall I keep going? And I was like, no, people need to know what you came from. Like, when you like hear what he's gone through and where he is now, you think, oh my God, most of the people would have sank. His story's amazing, and
he's got a really good business.
I'm going to get him on the podcast because I want to get it all on, because obviously it was on the radio show. You can't see, you know, you couldn't see us. It was on the radio.
Yeah, because you can only hear it, but if you can actually see it and see the reactions, and 100%, he's got an amazing business, and you're an ambassador for his brand as well, aren't you? And you seem to have a really good relationship as well.
We've got a really good relationship, yeah. Just through his, they had a best sales month, so I threw a party for them. We've got it all decorated.
I seen a party you done for them. I think it was it last year or
whatever. Birthday, that was another one. So he just said to me, he went,
just go
whatever
mad.
you want, do what you want.
Just go man.
I just went there with the bill, and I went, that's the bill, and he was like, sound. He's such a cool guy.
I
love him. He's really good.
Yeah. Is there anything we haven't touched on that you'd like to talk about?
No, I feel like we've covered my life.
Do you want to just do some quick fire questions then, so we can have a bit of fun?
Hit me.
Hit you, baby. All right then. Most overused emoji.
Oh, flame.
Song that gets you on a dance floor instantly.
All night long.
Banger.
Oh, The Love I Lost by Sybil.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's my auntie's favourite song, or Linda's favourite song. So it always just gets me straight
I can feel both of them. Dream travel destination.
That I haven't been before, or wherever you been?
I haven't been before.
Barbados.
Good choice. Best piece of advice you've ever heard?
Get the fuck out the biscuit tin by me. No, probably. Oh yeah, okay. My dad. It is what it is. And you know what?
Let it be.
Honestly, when I was like growing up, and he'd say it is what it is, and I'd be like, I hated him saying it because it was like it's like a conversation ended. What can you say back to it? As soon as he went, I was like, it is what it is. There's fuck all you can do about it.
You understood it then.
Move on.
Texting or phone calls?
Text.
Leather or lace?
On your skin or in a shoelace?
On your skin. I just thought that'd be a funky one.
Oh, definitely not leather. It'd have to be lace, yeah.
City break or countryside escape?
none. I want the sun. No, city break. If I was going to do anything, city break.
Chocolate or crisp?
Crisp.
I'm a chocolate man. Spontaneous plans or a well-organised itinerary?
Both. No, because I've had some really good nights out when they've been spontaneous.
Yeah,
but then
they are good.
I'm a 6 month ahead type of person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're an organiser.
I mean, I've planned my 40th next year already. Yeah, I've already.
It's going to be a heavy party.
And then I'm going to Vegas the week after, so I've already
that is
planned
going to be
it.
a naughty party. If you're planning your own birthday party, it'd fucking blow my mind.
I'm going to do. Yeah.
Go on, tell me about it.
Met Gala theme. So I'm going to go all out. Yeah. It's going to be a big one. There's going to be lights like this everywhere. People can just get like pictures around the big red draped room. I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be good.
Boss night in or a mad night out?
Boss night in.
I like a boss night
days, in. Yeah.
A few years ago, you'd have been a mad night out.
Yeah, as I say, I'm a cougar now. I've got to select when to do them.
Who'd play you in a movie about your life?
Ooh.
Ain't expecting that one, was you?
No, was I fuck?
You've landed, lad. Shake the mic.
Probably silly, because some people sometimes say I look like him, which I don't say, but Cillian Murphy, is it?
Cillian, yeah, you do. And now I can see, yeah.
A little
Peaky
bit.
Blinders.
But I look more like Freddie Mercury,
yeah.
so he's dead, so he can't play me. But yeah. No, to the muzzin. No more honey. No more honey.
One piece of advice you'd give to your younger self?
Listen to your parents more. Because everything they said was right, and I hate to admit that, but it was. Even like now I go, fuck.
Yeah, you were right.
But then now I say things, I go, oh, I sound like my ma.
Yeah, because you give that advice out yourself.
Yeah, probably listen to your parents because they actually do know what they're talking about.
Would you like to do any shout-outs to your sponsors before we go, or anybody in general you'd just like to do a shout-out, or anyone you work with or anything like that? Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout-out to?
I want to shout-out to you for bringing me on the show.
Oh, my man. You're the first.
I've always watched the clips and stuff, and it was an honor to come on. And the questions, I mean, I've probably gone deep on a podcast maybe once before, twice maybe, but this was really, it was like therapy. I enjoyed it. I really did.
And I can say you've shook the mic.
I did. Shook the fuck out the mic.
I'd like to do a little shout out to the people who support me. I'd like to do a shout out to you for coming on and giving me your time. I'd like to do a shout out to Gratitude Apparel, Matty, and the team, Boss. John from JT Medical Aesthetics, he's just the best about, and he's just a proper nice guy, really professional setup, and he helps us. And obviously my company, Green Lane Blinds, we sponsor the podcast, or it wouldn't be possible without them. Craig, a massive thank you for coming on, and it's just been an absolute pleasure, mate. It's been a pleasure to have you in the chair, and it's been an honour.
Thank you.
And the very, very best of luck with whatever you do in the future. I can't wait to see the rest unfold. You're a true inspiration. And I mean
Thank you so much.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Until next time.
Can you keep it recording? So when you ask me the question, do you want to shout out to anyone? I should shout out to someone because I've got something coming up. I forgot.
It's okay, we'll put it in.
So from next week, I'm going to be taking over L1 Centre, become the face of the company. So I'm going to be around town doing little games with people.
That's going to be amazing.
I've got my mic with the logo on.
Let me have a little go.
Have a little go with that, lad.
Well, yeah.
So I'm gonna be the full on ambassador of the face.
Get on it.
How's that smell?
Whoo, gee. Fly.
There we go.
Really though.
So there we go.
Don't be coming on to me, Kay.
You wish.
No, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time. Peace out.